Folks, thank you very much for coming today on a matter that's very serious to our city, all of our employees, and all of our citizens. I have just sent a letter to the City Council, which I'd like to present to you and ask your indulgence for just a moment. The first thing it says, this is an official notice under the Mississippi Code that we are vetoing the City Council's adoption of the Gulfport budget last Tuesday night, and the veto is effective today. Now, we're very aware that the council's 6-to-1 vote may be a veto proof. We understand that. But this action that we're taking now is actually a plea to each and every member of the City Council to consider the financial detriment that might result from their previous vote, and how it affects our city, our taxpayers, and our employees. In my opinion, it's unwise in the budget that was adopted on September the 11th to spend one-time money which was derived by the forced sale of some much-needed property that we have at the Gulfport Sportsplex, and to use the funding from that sale for current and recurring employee salaries. Furthermore, the administration's budget halts the reduction of the city's rainy day funds that are now currently only enough to operate for 2 weeks, which could impact our city's bond rating. We feel that the city needs an operating reserve fund or rainy fund of about $8 million, which would be enough to operate for 8 weeks, not 2 weeks. Like other citizens in various parts of the city, our 600 professional employees have been impacted by the current recession, just like all of you in this room have, and many of you in this room are employees. Those individuals have not received a pay raise in 4 years. That's a long time. A pay increase is right now forever beyond our reach until our workforce has been right-sized and is recommended by our directors and our managers. And our directors and managers have made those recommendations. Several economic development opportunities are on the horizon for Gulfport. Some have already happened, more are coming. But they're not all here yet, and I think it's unwise to spend money today in hopes that we're going to make more money in the future. Now, let me elaborate on some things. The budget that we've proposed is no tax increase for the citizens of Gulfport in their ad valorem taxes. No furloughs for any employees, no increases in water and sewer and garbage pickup. We've already been through those for the last 3 years, and we think we have that stabilized. But the fact that we're not giving any pay raises at this time disturbs us. We had hoped in this administration, and we've talked about it for the last 3 years, to finally get ourselves in a position that we could give some pay raises. I'm not going to say that that's out of the question, even possible still this spring, if we'll do the right things between now and spring, and some of the new things coming on board will come on board. And I'd like very much for us to have the opportunity to do that, and I'm sure the City Council would too. I know you employees would like to have a raise, and we'd like to give you one. I'm going to cover some points that will bring out to you just how severe things are, but also solutions. I don't want to give you a problem without a solution. I think it's important that we offer some things and tell you where we're going. Can I pass you these for just a second? Here's one that the City Council has had to react to, and I understand what happens with a City Council. Some of you in this room button them down and say, this is what I need, and you put a little pressure on them and try to get them to give you something that you need in your neighborhood or in your business. That's understandable, and they want to accommodate you if they can. But in one case, it was been recommended that we increase the amount of subsidy that we give to MCTA, the Coast Transit Authority. I oppose that, and I'll tell you why I oppose it, and I've talked to Kevin earlier today. Right now, Those buses, which are very needed. I'm not compromising the fact that we need a transportation system. My daddy was a bus driver. I grew up on the public transportation system here in Gulfport. I know the value of that. However, right now, every single person on average that gets on a bus costs MCTA $10 for them to get on that bus. And they only collect $1. That's $9 per person on average subsidy for everyone that gets on that bus. I think we can do better than that. And I'd like to see MCTA address that. They have a difficult time trying to find the routes on where the buses can go. But all of you, like me, see those buses, a lot of empty seats. Could we do better? I think we can, and that's not for us in Gulfport to decide, but it is for us in Gulfport to say we can't keep giving you more money. We just can't do it. Another example, and all of us in this room, and I see some faces that I'm very, very close to, are working in nonprofit groups, and every single one of you need more money. I know that. And you'd like to twist the arms of the mayor and the city councilman to give you some more money out of tax funds. But right now, with the current situation we have, we can't take on any additional donations, and we can't take on any additional increases. No matter how good the cause is, right now we all have buckled down, and we need to keep buckling down till we get out of this. Now let's talk about the real culprit when it comes to what needs to be done in our city. We have about 600 employees. We've reduced staff, let's say about 120 in the last 3 years. We need to reduce some more. And our directors have recommended those decreases. And we need to do that, not on the backs of our good employees, because our good employees are doing a fine job, but we're going to have to ask them to work a little smarter and a little different, and for them to come up with some of the recommendations. One of the things about having that many employees is our benefits package in the city. Now, 4 years ago, the city of Gulfport did a survey. Most of the members of the city council were not here at that time, nor was I, not in office. And we gave some significant raises to our people based on the southeastern average of public employees. Not just the average in Harrison County or the other cities, but the southeastern averages. And so there was a time when we used to say, well, municipal employees make so little we ought to give them a lot in benefits. Today we're paying competitive salaries to our employees, but that's still not enough. We'd like to raise them some more. But let's talk a little bit about what the benefits package is. And I'm speaking now directly to you employees. Nothing that I'm getting ready to suggest would impact any single employee who's working for us today. Our recommendation to you, and we've given this to the council, and this book, it's thick, and it goes through every benefit we have. What we've asked the council to do is to start a new benefits package for all new employees hired after today. Don't affect the people that have already been working for us. We have an agreement with them, leave that in place. And as they retire and new people come in, over time we can correct the lucrative benefits package that we have. Again, not on your backs as employees, but on the future people that we hire. And announce when we hire them what our plan is. Why should we do this? Well, right now, any employee who's been working for the city over 10 years, we give them 2 months paid leave. For any employee that's been working for us for 20 years, we give them 3 months paid leave. Our largest 2 departments, 212 of those employees get 2 months off, 42 get 3 months off, paid. Paid. 268 people in our largest 2 departments are working less than a 4.5-day week, and 55 of our employees in those 2 departments are working less than a 4-day week. Overtime just in those departments is costing us $670,000 a year because we have to fill the slots because of the people who aren't there. Police chief told me this just this year when we were going through the budget and I was trying to get him to trim down. He said, George, you got to understand, 10% of my people are not there on any given day. I said, oh, I know, because our benefits package, not because they've done anything wrong. That's what we've given them. If you give somebody 3 weeks vacation, what do they take? 3 weeks vacation. They're entitled to it. It's not their fault. It's us giving away the farm. Let me tell you a little bit about what these benefits cost. We have 110 employees who make on average about $14 an hour, but we pay them an additional $12,000 a year in benefits. We have 309 of our employees who make about $18 an hour. We pay them in addition $14,000 in benefits. We have 181 employees who make on average about $28 an hour. We pay them about $20,000 a year in benefits. In addition to that, we've got about 600 employees. We have 465 automobiles. I think that speaks for itself. Folks, it's time for us as employees now, this isn't up to the citizens, that's up to the three of us standing at this desk, our directors and the employees, not even the city council, to deal with that, and we're hoping to do it. Let's talk about one other area, and again, I'm speaking to the employees. This is a listing of folks that are on workman's compensation. We have already paid out $3 million in workman's compensation benefits, and the rest of the people on the list are down to get as much as $4 million more. I mentioned that it would be good to have an $8 million rainy day fund. There's $7 million of it in that folder. Now, am I suggesting we not have workman's comp? Absolutely not. When people get hurt on the job, we're supposed to take care of them. But I'm saying to you, there's some abuses there. And you employees who work for the city know where some of those abuses are, and we need your help to get them corrected. I don't want to sound negative, and I'm trying not to be negative, because there's some great things on the horizon. Here's a list that we signed in the other day. I think this was about 10 days ago. This is 26 people who are mayors, councilmen, supervisors, police chief, and firemen. We met over in the Biloxi City Council office to have a discussion about our 911 dispatch service. Right now, in Gulfport, we have 22 people that answer the telephone, because this is around the clock, 24/7. Biloxi has 22. Long Beach has 9. The county has 24. Now, the county happens to do all of the 911 work for D'Iberville and for Pass Christian. What we came together, the 26 of us, say was, let's put in one system for the whole county. And instead of having 77 employees, we can probably get that done for something like half of that. And every employee that we reduce saves us about $50,000 when you put salaries and benefits together. That's workable. Now, in addition to the 911, Gulfport has put in a 311 program. And right now, for the last quarter, we got about 15,000 calls. If we put in the call center for the 911 to also include a 311, there's additional savings for us. Not working harder, working smarter. Right now, we have in Gulfport a mechanic shop for the police department. Got another mechanic shop for public works and leisure services. And the fire department has their own roving mechanic shop. Why can't we have one mechanic shop to work all those departments? We're all one family. We can save an awful lot of money by having the same tools working for various departments instead of each department having to have their own tools in their own shop. And we've got a layout for how we can do that. Trash pickup. And the council doesn't necessarily see this when they go through the things they go through, and that's my fault because I haven't communicated with them as well as I could. But in the wastewater authority, the Harrison County Wastewater Authority, we've just negotiated a new contract for your garbage, trash, and sewer charges. I mean, garbage, trash, pickup. The new contractor will pick up your garbage twice a week in the new cans that are coming out as of October the 1st. But in the new contract, they'll also pick up trash at every single household once a week in every household in the city. That's throughout the county. What does that do for us? It eliminates one complete crew for the city that's been going behind them picking up trash because the trash wasn't getting picked up by the other contractor. How'd that come into place? Because they walked in the door and said, we want to do a better job? No, because we traded hard and we got that. That's going to save us money this year. It isn't even in this budget. Why? Because it hadn't started yet, and we're not going to budget for something till it happens. Right now, the city of Gulfport gets about $19 million a year in sales tax. Soon that could outpace the amount of money that we get in property tax. It's a major part of how we operate the city. It's very important to us. And we've been spending a lot of money trying to enhance that sales tax income. Just one example is right here in downtown. And we've got some cards for you to take over here when you leave. You can have lunch tomorrow in 30 different places downtown. We only had about 6 of those prior to the storm. And that's private investment on the part of people who want to serve our community and ring our cash registers for us. The same thing applies to other roads and other streets and other neighborhoods. We've got a layout that we hope we can start in December to turn Courthouse Road, much like we have on 25th Avenue in downtown, where we have elimination of the suicide lanes with landscaping and sidewalks so those businesses can create the same kind of sales tax that we see in this neighborhood. We've got plans that we hope to finalize within the next 4 weeks to take this landscaping that we have in 25th Avenue that goes up to the railroad tracks, all the way out at least to Pass Road, hopefully to 28th Street, and ultimately all the way out to I-10, so that when you're coming in Gulfport, you say, wow, this is where I want to spend my money. And so our kids who live here say, wow, this is where I want to live when I get out of school. That's doing what we need to do right now. And keep in mind that what we're doing right now in a competitive environment is this. The sales tax we're taking in Gulfport right now, be proud. It's more than the combined sales tax of D'Iberville, Biloxi, Long Beach, and Pascagoula together. You're doing a lot of things right. Let's keep feeding that cash cow. It's doing great things for us. The harbor's almost finished. We're within striking distance. With a little more construction, if we get a little bit of luck and no more rain and hurricane storms, we'll get that thing finished pretty quick. Probably the best thing that we've got going for us, particularly from a tourism and attraction basis and an entertainment basis for our citizens, is the Ship Island excursion boat. And for those of you who haven't been down recently, they are covering us up. They've been doing great. With the new harbor, because of the money that we spent, which was mostly insurance money and FEMA money and some grants, which is all paid for, by the way, that did not come out of our city tax money. Ship Island Excursion was paying us, up until a few months ago, $369 a month to operate in the harbor. Since our new arrangement has come in, since the 1st of June, they're paying us $2,667, from $369 a month to $2,667 a month, and increasing. That's the kind of thing that we want to do that's positive for our town. Let's talk about some more. The City Council, the administration, the Department of Economic Development, lots of us in this city have been working our fingers to the bone to get another casino in Gulfport. And we've done everything we knew to make that happen. And now it's announced that it's happening. Now, we're not just getting another casino. Hemingway is going to build 205 fourth-star quality rooms in our town. They say that each one of those rooms will be built at a cost